This is Computer Science Discoveries Unit 3, and we are starting in Lesson 18, talking about collision. What we've done so far is now trying to program things about when things are touching. At the end of Lesson 17, you've been able to have your little robot guy touch a coin. We make something happen when they touch, like maybe make a sound, make it reappear in a new random position, and so on. We need to keep building on this kind of movement so that as you go to start thinking about creating and designing your own video game, you can utilize these types of ideas. All right, so we in Lesson 18 are going to get a whole bunch of options and new code when we start talking about how things end up touching or colliding into each other and what that interaction looks like. Okay, so here we go. Let's take a look at level number 2. Okay, it says, so far we've been able to use the sprite is touching block, okay, and make interactions happen. We reset the coin to a different spot on the screen, and now it's time to start getting more complicated. So let's run this, okay? If we had the ability to be in the classroom and you were with someone else, okay, notice what's happening here. You got this cute little giraffe coming, and then when those two actually interact and touch, then what happens is the giraffe starts pushing the monkey off the screen. So how can we make that happen? Okay, what kinds of commands here would you use? These two happen to only be moving horizontally. Okay, so definitely we need is touching and then something about movement in a horizontal direction, something with X. All right, let's see what happens as we press on now. Let's look at level number 3. It says, all right, so if we were in class, you would discuss this with a partner and see how you can make this giraffe push the monkey off the screen. So in this one, it says the giraffe is already moving across the screen toward the monkey, but their interaction hasn't been programmed yet. Okay, so what it looks like is the giraffe there is just sliding behind. So what we are supposed to do is try to figure out what we could do to make it look like these guys, the giraffe is pushing. So I definitely need some sort of is touching command in here, which means I need an if statement inside the draw loop. And I'm going to say, well, if these two are touching, and let's see what we called them, giraffe and monkey. So if the giraffe is touching the monkey, then what do we want to have happen? Well, as I'm looking at it, the giraffe is already set up moving horizontally. So look at line 4. Giraffe's velocity is moving at 1. So I kind of want to make that monkey's velocity to also be that same velocity once they touch. So if I grab this velocity and say, well then, if giraffe is touching the monkey, let's make the monkey's velocity also equal 1. Let's see if that'll do it. Big moment. Let's see. Look at that. Woo! All right, that makes sense, right? As they touch, then they both have the same. Cool beans. Hit finish, and let's go to level number 4. Okay, so sorry we couldn't load elephant. Well, let's see what's going on here. All right, we should have written code for that interaction. This time, try to write it on your own, but use the patterns you saw before. Here's what's happening here. All right, so instead of moving horizontally, we've got vertical. We've got an elephant, and then the blue hippopotamus. Huh. Okay, so it says, notice that the elephant move. Ooh, so this is a little different, okay, when we look at the code. So what we want, elephant push hippo. Okay, but let's see what we've got defined in here. Okay, so the elephant has a velocity y, and the thing is, it's choosing a random number. Let's try a few things. I know for sure that we are going to need an if loop. Okay, I know for sure I'm going to need to utilize an is touching command inside or as my condition in the if loop. And I'm going to say if my elephant is touching the hippo. Now, I want the hippo to start using or moving in the same way that the hippo is. So let's see if this will work. The elephant used a random number from -3 to -1. Unfortunately, in my toolbox, they're not giving me random number here. Well, first, let me make this say hippo. Okay, well, if I have it set to be -1, what's that going to look like? See, the hippo or the elephant has this random. It could be -3, -2, -1. What if I make this? Do you suppose if I make it -3, what would that look like? Is it always going to work? Oops. Now that time, it looked like it worked. What happens this time? I wanted you to see this one when the elephant is randomly moving a little slower, because that almost looks like a bounce. So we have to troubleshoot here and think of something different. So let's try this. I want the hippo's velocity to be exactly the same as the elephant. The problem is the elephant's velocity is fluctuating initially. But why couldn't I say I want the hippo's velocity to match the elephant's velocity, whatever that may be? If elephant is moving at -2, hippo will do it that way. If hippo is going slow, then the hippo should go slowly. Aha. And then what about this? That looks super slow again. So, as you think about how gaming works and things, and if you want something to push, if you have a varying speed for your velocity, you can just set them to be the same and it will work. Awesome strategy. One more level today. Let's look at 5. So here they're saying, notice that you've been programming, but this particular push command is very common. So now they've created a new block for you called displace. And you can use that. That'll automatically push. One sprite pushes the other one in the same sort of speed that that first one had. Okay, so here's what it says. Someone tried to use displace to make the elephant push the hippo, but there's some kind of bug. Something's not working right. Can you change the code so the elephant pushes the hippo off the screen? Find that line of code, fix the error. Well, first let's see what's not moving right. Oops. Maybe my version history might have gotten, I might have been playing with this ahead of time. All right, so here's what's happening. Now, let's see. Go back and read the instructions. Elephant pushes hippo. Elephant pushes the hippo. Hippo's pushing the elephant. I see it now. Okay, so let's find this line of code called displace here on line 18. I want the elephant to push the hippo. This says hippo displace elephant. Ta-da! Do you see what we need to do here? Elephant needs to displace the hippo. Whoosh. There we go. All right, have fun playing around with this, see what you can come up with, and we'll quit there for today. As always, good luck, happy coding.